America, we've seen some ebbs and flows this year in the NBA. Now with my Lakers have been trashed the entire time, but that's another story. I ain't gonna talk about that because my mental health is shaky enough right now due to my Green Bay Packers. But we saw that the Golden State Warriors were just rolling earlier in the year. And then, of course, common sense, people anticipated that to just continue once Klay came back. But I guess maybe people weren't thinking, hey, what if something happens to one of the other pieces? And I guess, of course, people were like, long as don't nothing happen to Steph, they get Klay back, it's going to be Gucci. But my brother Tim G. Jacobs seems to think otherwise. Y'all see it right down there in the headline. My brother has stated, he stated clearly, he said it with his chest, that Draymond is more important to the Warriors than Klay Thompson. T, talk to him.
I mean, it's pretty apparent right now when the team is 6-6 in the month of January. I watched the Warriors lose the other night to the Pacers, who absolutely had nobody. The best player on the floor for the Pacers was Chris Duarte.
Come on now.
Okay. And they probably went 8 deep in that game. The starting point guard for the Pacers was Kiefer Sykes. Never heard of this dude. But how do they lose that? How do the Warriors lose that game with all of that talent? Now, I get it.
Guess who else lost to the Pacers, T? I digress. I apologize.
We weren't gonna bring it up, but I'm gonna assume it was the Lakers the night before.
I apologize.
But okay, all right, I got you. I think it's showing right now that, and let's just set the year when the Warriors were all broke up, tore up, and beat up aside. The year Draymond was by himself. We're gonna sit that year over there, okay? But I believe that Draymond's defensive presence renewed Draymond, because nobody knows Draymond like my boy Ray up here, like my brother. And Draymond said he's back. He's back. He's renewed. He got his people with him. But I do think that Draymond is showing you that he is more important than Klay Thompson when it comes to the effect on the floor. Klay is a great player. Great player, great shooter, great defender. And I think, and two, Klay's not getting his full complement of minutes like that. I think that Steve Kerr's trying to like play him in the spots, play him 6 or 8 minutes,
bring him
out. He's doing a lot of that with him. And I think that's starting to piss Klay off, me personally. I think Klay is kind of like, look, man, give me 35 minutes or leave me alone. Like, come on, like give me the minutes. I'm back, I'm ready. And I can understand that because Klay's a hell of a competitor. He's tenacious. He wants to be out there on the floor. But I do think that Draymond gives the Warriors that element, and it's proven. It's already proven. This ain't nothing new. But it's just showing you right now in the run of this season that Draymond, I think, is more important to the success of the Golden State Warriors going forward than Klay Thompson is. The defense, the signal calling, the talking that he does, all the little things that you're not getting from guys like Looney or and Looney has played well. He has played very well without Draymond, in Draymond's absence. But it's just different with Draymond. When he's a guy that can start the offense, set up guys. He said he was the greatest screener ever. Right?
Yeah.
So
that's what he said.
I mean, so
that's what he said.
It's things that Draymond does that I think adds another element to the offense that you're seeing Steph struggle with right now in his absence. And I just really think they need Draymond back. I don't know how much longer he's got with the back injury, but I just really think Draymond's just more important, man. He just does a lot of things. He's a Swiss Army knife, man. He does it all. He does it all. He does it on both ends of the floor, and he does all the little things. And that game against the Pacers, I think that Draymond would have done little things in that game to put them over the top. Even despite the way the Pacers played, I thought the Pacers played very hard, very well, and coming off a back-to-back because they had lost to the Los Angeles Lakers. I mean, they beat the Los Angeles Lakers the night before, but we ain't gonna talk about that. But coming off a back-to-back and beating the Warriors, I thought was impressive. And then it took finally Steph got his first buzzer beater. Was it last night? So
he was 5 for 20, I think before that shot or something like that.
So it's a lot. They're struggling. They struggling right now.
Yeah, so
it's very apparent that I think Draymond is a key reason why they're struggling.
Think Steph needed some of those screens from Draymond too.
He need that free up. Steph can't do that all. Steph can't do that all night long like he used to when he was 26, 27. He can't do that all night long like that. He needs to get freed up.
Right.
And the offense flows a lot different. It's different, I think, when Draymond's on the floor. I think the offense just flows a lot different. So, but that's my one big topic from the week in the NBA. The other one is, hey, Mike, you finally getting it right in Charlotte. I just thought I'd say that to you. You finally getting it right in Charlotte. We've all talked about LaMelo on here. Trajectory, sky's the limit with him. But Miles Bridges, that young man said, hold the check. I'm going to get a bigger check next year. That's what Miles Bridges told the Charlotte Hornets organization coming in this year. I'm going to bet on me. Y'all offer me 15, but I'm worth 25 or whatever the number is. But Charlotte's getting it right. Rozier's been great. Oubre's been great. The question is what they're going to look like inside, though. They kind of small inside to me. The question going to be what they're doing inside. So, but Charlotte, man, they look good, man. They look really good. They play hard. Borrego's got them boys playing really good, man. And I love to see him in the playoffs. We didn't get him last year, but I love to see him in the playoffs this year. It'll be gonna be something to deal with now. East need to take notice.
Man, when it comes to the Warriors, somebody made a great point. I think it was on ESPN. We don't get a lot of that good analysis like we used to get on some of those shows and stuff like that. They really break down the game, but somebody did make a great point. And they were like, with Draymond being out, a lot of that ball handling really falls back in the lap of Klay and Steph. His point at that time was Klay doing a lot more trying to score off the dribble than he has in the past.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I got to think about that since I've seen Klay. I said, yeah. Because, that was one of my criticisms of Klay. Some people want to say, well, Klay can have his own team. Klay can probably go somewhere else and average 30. And my retort always was, I don't know, can he? Because they want to compare him to Ray Allen, and we know Ray Allen had that tap back in the day. Ray Allen had a tap; he can go dunk on you, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So this analyst's point was Draymond takes that off of Steph and Klay. Now they can go off ball, and they can come off some of these screens and all that kind of stuff. Then they can do their thing, and they don't have to have that ball handling responsibility. And so that just got me thinking about, like, damn, when we compare Draymond, a lot of folks love to compare him to Dennis Rodman.
Mm-hmm.
But we know Dennis wasn't doing nothing like that offensively. He was not finna run your offense for you now.
Yeah.
he was gonna play defense. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna play defense, he's gonna rebound the basketball. But offensively, other than offensive rebound, he giving you jack.
Right.
So I get Ray been trying to tell us for some time now about the importance of Draymond Green. And I guess once again, Ray, you've been
the miseducation of Draymond Green.
Draymond, yeah. Well, I would love to take credit for this one, but Draymond is educating the people himself by being out or being in the game. It doesn't matter. To the naked eye, someone would say, well, Draymond is important because he gets these guys the balls and he sets the screens. That is true. From a 30,000-foot level, that's true. But Draymond is the engine. Steph Curry is the star. He's the legend, no doubt about it. Right. If Steph Curry isn't on that team, Draymond's not going to carry that team. So I joke about it, but we know what's real, right? But there is the element of Draymond being the engine. And what I mean by that is, Steph Curry brings the threat of when I walk into the gym, that's my range. And so guys fear that. But they don't really fear Steph from a tough standpoint, right? Like his attitude doesn't spark the team. Draymond's attitude sparks the team.
Right.
They look at Steph to say, Steph, if we're in trouble, you'll bail us out. And that's great. That's a great luxury to have. But it's not a man. If we're in the thick of this thing going toe-to-toe with somebody, we can't look at Steph and say, Steph, go lay these guys out. That's where Draymond comes in. When you have that toughness factor, again, I'm all about culture when we talk about teams. Draymond builds the culture of that team. When he shows up, guys know they have to be in the right spots. If you're not in the right spot, you're going to get cussed out, and then he'll put you in the right spot. Like, that's what it is.
Well, I wish I had that in Los Angeles right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's what's real.
I could use that.
But it's just...
Joe ain't agreeing with me over
there. No, you have that.
And who?
Russell Westbrook.
The problem is the player that would do that need to be saying that to himself.
Who?
Russ will do that. But the problem is
I haven't heard that one from Russ.
He's part of the mess up.
I've heard Russ cuss the crowd out when he dunked.
Yeah.
I ain't never heard of Russ cussing out a teammate that was doing their job. That won't come out.
If Russell Westbrook was Mark Jackson, had Mark Jackson's skill set, because Mark was a triple-double too now.
Mm-hmm.
But if he did what Mark Jackson did, back him in, score or dish, you go back and look at Mark Jackson's game. If Russ was doing that, because Mark wasn't just jacking up shots like talking about. Mark got his spots.
I need somebody to check Anthony Davis.
You gonna trade Anthony?
Mark
Mark
is a pastor. He probably gonna pray for him.
You ain't finna.
I need somebody to cuss him out like Ray just said Draymond would do.
Okay,
I need that,
and that's fair. Now, how many players in the league will we say is that type of person that like what Draymond would do? I don't even know if we really have that.
Jimmy Butler would have been cussed out Anthony Davis.
That's true.
Long time. Chris Paul would have been cussed out Anthony Davis long time ago. Chris Paul, everybody say he don't get along with folks because some of these guys turned out to be soft.
Yeah.
Blake Griffin turned out, we see now.
Yeah.
He don't want to be. He likes being a role guy. He like being a guy that can just dive on the floor for the Nets.
But real quick, I want to say this about Draymond. The fact that he actually allows the defense can't key in on Steph and Klay because they actually get to play off ball and be behind the defense. So you can't even set up a defense and say, hey, let's box in one. I know, really don't do that. But you can't really do that because they get a chance to actually be behind the defense rather than in front of it. So I do agree with TJ that Draymond is more important than Klay. But again, Klay is a great shooter and a great defender. But, I mean, Draymond told us, Ray, piggyback off Draymond.
Yeah. I definitely piggybacked off Draymond.
We bring your 2021 into 2020.
Let's make that clear. Let's make that clear. What I'm saying on this show is nothing that Draymond hasn't already said. That's the reality. But seriously, man, it's a luxury, and I think sometimes, especially with like folks that are younger than us, they don't see the value in having a guy like Draymond. Not just in the locker room, but I'm just talking about what he does on the court for real, like getting guys in their sets offensively and defensively. Like he knows the playbook of both teams.
Yeah,
there's value in that. There's value in a guy understanding possessions, how many possessions we want to play in the entire game, how many possessions we want to play in a quarter. What do we want to do when we have this guy in the game from the opposing team? Like all of that stuff is going through his brain in a 24-second shot clock. Yeah. Man, that's so valuable because what that allows Steph Curry and Klay Thompson to do is not worry about that and just focus on scoring the ball. Yeah. Like that kind of stuff is, you can't measure it. They call it intangible, but you literally cannot measure it. Draymond is one of the most valuable players in the league. I'm not saying he's the MVP of the league. What I'm saying is his value is that he doesn't need to be a scoring threat to be effective every night. He can do it from time to time, but like that's not his real gift. The gift is for him to make his superstars night every night very easy.
Yeah.
And you can see that because when he's out, like you heard Wells, or like you heard T say, they have to pick up the loads. Somebody's got to bring the ball down. Somebody's got to figure out who's setting screens. Guys got to make sure they're in the right spots. Man, I'm just telling you, Draymond Green
Also,
covers a multitude of errors.
I think people forget, to be honest, Draymond is really, when you look at his height, he's really a small forward that plays power forward and guard centers.
Yeah.
By the way, America, Draymond was the only guy to tell KD about himself when he was over there in Golden State as well. KD was salty because Draymond was telling him everything that he needed to hear.
My kids wanted me to tell y'all to make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me across all social media platforms, like the videos, and share them. Did I forget anything?
And turn on the post notifications.
Y'all heard them. And also, visit Statement Tees, LLC.com, and shop with us. That's Statement Tees. Every t-shirt you wear
Makes a statement.